The Mississippi State quarterback competition is one of the most interesting and intriguing quarterback competitions, not just in the SEC, but I think in all of college football for a few different reasons. You got two solid quarterbacks and head coach Mike Leach, right? And so the two quarterbacks that we're going to be looking at, Jack Abraham and Will Rogers. Abraham being the transfer from Southern Miss, and then Will Rogers being the returning guy who started the last half of the season. Did a lot of good things, especially towards the end of the season. They also have some young, good talent as well, but for the sake of the video, we're just going to talk about Jack Abraham and Will Rogers. And these are guys we've talked about in the past, but it hasn't been since the spring game. That's the last time we kind of touched on the Mississippi State quarterback room. So I wanted to touch on the competition before spring ball starts and look at some game film from each guy, some stuff that we didn't really talk about on our last game film of them, and kind of talk about why they're accurate quarterbacks, what makes an accurate quarterback, and look at several different reasons of why accuracy comes about for a quarterback. But before we dive into the actual film, I want to encourage you to just consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you like any quarterback-related content, as long as it's related to the quarterback position, it is fair game here. And so before we dive into the film, I want to take a look at a quick article after SEC Media Days, and let me pull it up real quick. I will link it below. Let's see, the exact website is, I think, Cowbell Corner, through Sports Illustrated Mississippi State, and the author is Chrissy Ford. I'll link it below, but wanted to give him some credit. So here's some quotes from Mike Leach on what he looks for in a quarterback. I can't get to square one unless they're accurate and make good decisions. If they don't do that, I don't think they can play quarterback. Most important, hardest thing to gauge is their ability to elevate the players around them. So I think some takeaways there are accurate quarterbacks and making good decisions. If you make good decisions, it leads to accurate throws, right? A lot of times it's reading the defense that's going to lead to an accurate throw, which is what we see in this film here. Let's scroll down just a little bit more because there is some more quarterback talk here. Mike Leach says the battle between the quarterbacks will be very competitive. We've got a much better quarterback room than we had last year. So that should be encouraging for Mississippi State fans, how highly Mike Leach thinks of the quarterback room, because he doesn't blow smoke out as you know what, right? So I'll link that article below in the description if you're interested in reading the whole thing. There's some good Mike Leach quotes, and it's a good job by the author kind of reporting that. And I will also link below our kind of old film breakdowns that we've done on Jack Abraham and Will Rogers if you want just a more kind of specific and detailed breakdown over each guy. But today we're going to look at Will Rogers first. We got 4 clips showing why he's accurate and kind of what leads his accuracy. He was a guy who I think completed about 69% of his passes last year, which is very, very good. The one thing you want to see from him is improvement in yards per attempt. Is about 5.7, so a lot of kind of short throws, which is fine in a Mike Leach offense, but you do need to have the ability to push the ball downfield to kind of spread the defense a little bit more, and he did that towards the end of the season, especially against Missouri. His yards per attempt were a little over 8, and so we'll use that film to kind of break down Will Rogers and look at the potential that is there. And then Jack Abraham, he's always been one of the most accurate passers in the nation. I think 2 years ago, his completion percentage was over 70%, which is outstanding. And his yards per attempt are a bit more higher. He had 2 seasons where it was like 8.3-ish, 8.7, and then he had a season in the high 7. So you kind of want to be at least in that 7 range for yards per attempt. But I digress. We're going to dive into Will Rogers first and kind of look at his film, and then we're going to look at Jack Abraham's film as well, and we can kind of compare the two guys and look at why they're accurate passers, and then we'll kind of wrap this thing back up at the end. So this might be my favorite throw from Rogers, and one of the most accurate throws you probably saw all last year, even though it looks fairly simple. And I know I mentioned, a lot of times it's a good read, a good decision that leads to an accurate throw. It's not always, just because you're super accurate, but this throw is because he's extremely accurate. Watch this throw here. We got this deep kind of post/in route here. It's great coverage. There's really no room for error. Rogers throws a strike for a good big play, and he's pushing the ball downfield, so he did show the ability that he has that. We're going to pause it here too, so you can really see and appreciate how good of a throw this really was. So there's really no room for error. It can't be a 1 ball because it's a pick. It can't be a 3 ball, obviously, because you got up top safety. It has to be literally laid right in between. It's exactly what Rogers does. Hell of a catch too, but just an absolutely beautiful throw there, and probably, if you ask Mike Leach, that's probably one of his favorite throws from last year. I want to watch it one more time from this angle, and so you can see it as well, because this is your definition of just accurate, just being accurate, right? Just an accurate throw. Great ball there. Here's a good read, very good throw by Rogers. Another example of how to be an accurate quarterback is the simple fact of how to read defenses. And now this ball is dropped, but I wanted to show this play for a few different reasons. Even though it is dropped, it's a very good throw. It's more of the read and the maturation of Will Rogers here that I like. And so we have several different crossing routes here, right? So we have your shallow crosser, your more kind of intermediate crosser, and then we have your deeper crossers. We kind of have 3 different levels here, if you will. And Rodgers is reading several different guys, one of the guys being this backer here. And so he stays here and takes this crosser, leaving space open leaving wide open space right there. And Rodgers is able to hit the receiver in stride. This ends up being a drop pass. But a good example of another way how you are an accurate quarterback is those type of reads right there. Here's a great read and a great throw by Will Rodgers. A good pre-snap kind of decision, and then good post-snap transition from that pre-snap decision. Let's go ahead and break it down just a bit more detail. It just looks like a deep slant from the naked eye, but we see the safety blitzing, and as we're taught in any level of playing quarterback, middle school, high school, and college for sure, wherever the blitzing guy is coming from, that's where the throwing lane is probably going to be, especially in the air raid here. And so we'll see the blitzer comes in, got this deep slant here, got outside technique coverage here, so he's able to kind of get inside of him fairly easy. Good throw by Will Rodgers with pressure in your face there. So I like that type of throw, and I think we'll see more and more of those quote-unquote mature type throws from Will Rodgers if he's a starting quarterback in 2021. Again, safety creeps. Fault. Safety comes in, gets his eyes where the safety was. Good ball there. Accurate throw. So here's a perfect example of how you want Mike Leach's offense to work, and that's just by getting guys out of position and setting up space. Good accurate ball there. So we're going to break it down a little bit more detail because it looks very simple, just a shallow crossing route that leads to a big play. But let's look at why this happens here. So we're bringing them in motion. You got man, DB is following here. Bottom of the screen, we have guys this kind of clearance space, if you will. A lot of times it's kind of a backside route, and you'll just have them just clear space. Good decision by Rodgers. Looks super simple. You got space right here because these receivers have cleared out the DBs. He's able to throw him a good ball, hit him in stride, and the receiver is able to turn upfield and pick up a big first down. So a lot of times Mike Leach's offense, you want these short to intermediate throws to lead to big plays. Sometimes that leads to deep throws. Sometimes, and more times than not, you want to hit your guy in space to lead to a big play like this. Here's a great accurate throw by Abraham. A good example of what it looks like to throw your receiver open. Bottom of the screen here, just a little fade route, back shoulder throw. Good anticipation route. The ball is dropped, but still a good throw there. Let's watch it one more time from this angle. Then the behind the center angle, we'll see the accuracy there. So good throw, good accurate throw, but good decision to get the ball out quick. Just a drop ball there, but a good example of what it looks like to throw a guy open and do it accurately. Something that will be very welcomed into Mike Leach's air raid offense. That's a good throw right there, just a drop ball. So a quick basic slant route here, nothing really crazy here. I wanted to break it down just a tad bit of detail because the decisiveness is a good trait to have in Mike Leach's offense here. And so we'll see just a good read by Abraham. We see the backer creeping in, no space here, or there's no one in this space here. Abraham sees the backer creep in, even though he's supposed to have this zone space here with the cover 2 kind of man under scheme. And then we see Abraham make a quick, decisive throw. So in the air raid offense, the more decisive you are and the quicker you get the ball out, the more chances, or the more likely you are to be able to push the ball downfield for bigger plays. You can see nice quick, gets the ball out for a good gain. There's a good downfield shot by Jack Abraham, and we just have the side angle that we're going to watch. We'll watch it a few times, but receiver going downfield gives your guy a chance to throw or to make a good play again. We'll go ahead and watch it real quick one more time. We'll have this seam route here. Abraham sees space over here, able to throw it up to his guy. Good read by Abraham. You can argue it was underthrown, whatever you want to say, but it was a good read, appropriate read, and at the end of the day, you just give your guy a chance to go make a play, and he was open. So good example of being accurate downfield, but why you were accurate downfield, and just I think the Mississippi State offense will definitely welcome that ability to push the ball downfield a bit more. So here's some broadcast footage, but we're going to see Abraham take a deep shot here at the deep post to the outside receiver, and we're going to see why, because it's a very good decision to take the deep shot, and again, you can argue underthrow, whatever, but long story short, it comes back down to pushing the ball downfield, giving your guy a chance. When that happens, good things tend to happen, especially when you push the ball downfield in the correct situation. So we see the DB is about 6 to 7 yards off the line of scrimmage. There's no real kind of up top safety, if you will. Both safeties are down kind of almost inside the box. And so this is kind of a no-brainer here. Whenever you see this, you're taught as a quarterback, middle of the field wide open, no up top safety, take that shot, especially if you have a receiver like Southern Miss had here. So good decision by Abraham to take that shot and give his guy a chance. You see the safety has no chance making up for it, and then the receiver just beats the DB. So good decision to push the ball downfield in that situation. Again, so a very interesting quarterback situation. I think you got two solid quarterbacks, and the fact that Mike Leach seems high on them and that he's happy about the quarterback room should have Mississippi State fans feeling excited about their offense next year, especially at the quarterback position. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about the quarterback situation? Who do you think is going to win the starting job? Is it going to be Will Rogers? Is it going to be Jack Abraham? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on our next quarterback-related video.